Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. Today I'll be talking about the article that you see on your screen. So this is the first video in the part of the series that I'm doing on Warren Buffett and the shareholders meeting that he had yesterday in Nebraska, Omaha in the US. Okay, so I'll be doing four more videos to cover the important topics about what happened in this conference. So, the topic we have today is that Warren Buffett has personal financial advice saying that avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for these kind of interesting personal finance and investment tips on a daily basis and the kind of expert advice that you will not get anywhere else. So let's get started. So yeah, Warren Buffett, as we all know, he is the legendary investor, and he has predicted some very important things in the world consistently. This guy has been investing into the stock market for the past 70 years. And to be very honest with you, I have been following this person for really since the time that I started investing. Okay. So it's very important for everybody to understand how this person operates or functions. Okay. So I'll just read a few things from here. He had some advice for the millions of Americans with credit card debt. And millions of Americans really have a huge credit card debt. I mean, I've seen people who literally pay one credit card debt with another credit card. So they have literally 4 to 5 credit cards, and they pay like one credit card with debt with another credit card. So this is pretty normal in the US and even in Canada. Okay, it's not very unusual. But what he's saying is that, I think people should avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank to be raided. This is very, very true. Like the culture that I come from, like the Indian culture, we are taught that, we only have to live within our means. But in the US consumer culture, like they just have to keep on consuming as much as possible. And that's why, there is a very famous saying that in the US, people buy things they don't need with the money they don't have. This is very true because people are buying the things they don't need. Okay, people are buying land mowers, people are buying any random things that are just thrown at them because it's a consumer culture. Okay, and with the money they don't have, because they're just buying all of this on credit, and they're paying how much? 18% interest on that credit, which is not just insane but also goes on to say that the kind of consumer culture that America has become, and the kind of consumer culture that it is exported to the rest of the world, really is coming home to roost. Okay, in today's world. And that's why right now, as you can see, many companies are defaulting in the US. Okay, a company called Boeing, which manufactures the big airplanes and sells it to many different airlines, that has gone bankrupt. Okay, there are many airlines. So Warren Buffett recently sold his stake in all the four major airlines, which is American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and there's one more, US Airlines. Okay, so all the four airlines, Warren Buffett has lost faith into it, and he has sold all of them. So as you can see, like, to be very honest with you, what this guy is saying is just normal and logical advice that we have been taught since school, that we just always try to live within our means. Okay, but what the consumer culture in America has done is that it has just propagated this belief of just keep on consuming things. Okay, like, by consumption, I mean not just food or cold drinks or anything like that. It's like the entire thing. The entire US consumer economy is based on people just buying things that they don't need with the money they don't have. Okay, people are just going to the shopping malls, and they're just buying things randomly, and they are just so subconsciously trained to respond to these kind of things in particular fashion, that they just don't understand that there is a way outside of this. I mean, I don't know if you're getting what I mean, but they what I mean is that when they go into the malls and they see all the advertisements, they just want to have those things, somehow, but they don't realize at the back of their brain that whether this is really what they need, because the kind of consumer culture that American society has propagated is just so effective. I give them props for that, because they are very effective in marketing their products to you. Okay, But the normal consumer in America is just trying to consume as much as possible, and that's why, as you can see right now, there are lines outside of food banks all over America. Okay, and to be honest, I'm not surprised by that. Okay, I'm definitely not surprised by that, because this is what you get when you have such an overly consumer society which does not save anything, which is literally living on credit for the rest of their lives, which don't have anything saved for the retirement, which are just living on a paycheck to paycheck. There are 70 to 75% of people in the US and in Canada that are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, they don't have any visibility of what is going to happen to them 1 week from now or even 1 month from now. This is the reality of the so-called developed countries that people are desperate to live in, right? People are desperate to come to America, people are desperate to come to Canada, and this is the reality of what these countries go through. Okay, Buffet recalled that a woman had come to see him some time ago, a friend of his, to ask what she should do with some money she had just come into. Okay, so Buffet recalled a story of a woman that had come to him, saying that she had some money. Okay, and she was asking what she should do. And so he asked her what was her credit card debt at that point, like how much is she owing in her credit card. And she had pretty decent amount in her credit card, as like many millions and millions of people in America and in Canada have. And she was paying 18% interest on it. So Buffet's first advice was that she should just keep on, just pay off the credit card debt. That's the first thing that she should do. But that woman was not convinced with his answer. And I'm so amazed, to be very honest with you, because this is just a logical thing that many people in the US just don't understand. And I don't know why. Maybe they are just so much trained with the consumer culture, they are so much trained with just living on credit and paying one credit card bill with another credit card bill, that they just don't get this idea, they can't digest this idea that if they get some money, they can just pay it off with the credit card debt, and they can be free of it. But they want to pay 18% interest rate on everything. So look at what he's saying. Okay, I don't know how to make 18%. You cannot make 18% in the stock market. Okay, if I owed any money at 18%, the first thing I would do with any money I had would be to pay it off. This is Warren Buffett saying. Okay, this is the person who made the billions and billions of dollars out of investing, who knows the value of money, who knows the value of value investing, who knows how to invest into the stock market. This is the person that is saying something like this. And I'll read some more things, because paying it off is gonna be way better than any investment idea that I've got. He stressed, and that wasn't what she wanted to hear. Just look at this, like he was giving her the most logical advice, that paying the credit card debt should be the most logical thing. But people don't want to hear that in countries like America and in Canada, because they are just so accustomed to this kind of consumer culture that they want to just live in that bubble somehow. And I have seen this many times in the US and even in Canada. Okay, so people are just living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't want to worry about what is going to happen to them, or what is going to happen to their children, because they are trained to do something like this. The consumer culture is just so powerful that it just goes on to say that the kind of influence that all of these corporations have on our lives is just astonishing. Okay, credit cards are the most frequently used financial product in America. Okay, this is Yahoo Finance saying. Okay, this is an article from Yahoo Finance, which is a pretty reputable finance magazine. And Yahoo Finance conducted the live telecast of Berkshire Hathaway's annual shareholders meeting just yesterday. Okay, so it was in collaboration with Yahoo Finance and Berkshire Hathaway, which is the company owned by Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. And that's how important Yahoo Finance is. Okay, so Yahoo Finance is saying credit cards is the most frequently used financial product in America, with 60% of consumers, nearly 170 million, holding one or even multiple cards. 60% of consumers in America, and the same thing in Canada, they hold at least one or multiple credit cards. I have seen people personally who hold 5 credit cards. Okay, they literally have 5 credit cards in their wallet, and they are paying one credit card with another credit card. And that's how they are living, that's how they are surviving. I don't even call this as living. They are just surviving somehow. Okay, so this is what consumer culture in America and Canada looks like. Okay, this is exactly what it looks like. By the end of 2018, total credit card balances were around $900 billion, according to the August 2019 report by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay, so this is a direct report from Consumer Financial Protection, and it says that $900 billion are the credit card balances as of the end of 2018. Imagine this. Okay, such big amount people owe for their credit cards in America, which is the richest country in the world, so-called richest country in the world, as I've always said. Okay, consumers on average owed about 6,200 in credit card debt, according to Experian. Experian is again the, the, as you might know, the credit bureau agency. Okay, 6,200 on average people owe. Okay, and consumers owe. Okay, they're even calling the people as consumers. So that's pretty astonishing again. And the figures are not that different even in Canada or even in Australia or even in Europe. Okay, because all of these so-called Western economies are really based on mass consumerism, which I personally find to be very disgusting, to be very honest with you, because they just want to keep on consuming as much things as possible, and they don't want to understand if these kind of things are even suitable for them. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. You can't go through life on money at those rates and be better off. Okay, this is Warren Buffett saying. It just doesn't make sense. You can't go through life on money at those rates, which is like 18%, and be better off. That is absolutely true. I just cannot agree more, and that's the reason why I chose this article. I encourage everybody that the first thing they do is not paying even 12% to anybody. Pay that off. That is very true. Uh, I'm a very big fan of Warren Buffett. There are some things that I don't agree about this person, but this is one thing that I perfectly, like, 101% I do agree on this person. Ki that's like, you should avoid using credit cards as a piggy bank. Okay, I mean, if you're using credit cards to build your credit, then that's another story. But if you are using credit cards just to accumulate interest on them, and then pay one credit card debt with another credit card debt, that's just astonishing. That is going to ruin you like anything. And I've seen these kind of people in the US and even in Canada, like many 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 times. It's not like a single instance that you see around. There are like millions and millions of people in countries like Canada and America and in Australia, New Zealand, and all the Western countries that are just trying to just get by somehow through the day, because they don't know how to even pay rent. Okay, I have seen eviction notices in Canada and in America right now in this pandemic. Okay, because people don't have any money saved whatsoever. So, this is what life looks like in the so-called developed countries of the world. So, I hope you got an idea about how exactly people live in this part of the world, because many people have a very weird notion of what exactly life is in the so-called developed countries, because they don't understand what exactly things look like here, because they think that the Hollywood movies and shows like Friends and How I Met Your Mother, yeah, they don't reflect anything of what happens here. Okay, I mean, they are just the exact opposite of what happens in this part of the world. And I just wanted to let you know about that. So if you learned something new from this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and please subscribe to my channel, because subscriptions are really important, and they tell me that you guys are liking my content. And I'm going to bring these kind of investment related videos to you more frequently, because I'm very fascinated about these things, and I'm very enthusiastic about personal finance and investment options. So if you want to hear something more like this, don't forget to subscribe, please. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.